And we're back for one more show of the Neighborhood News. It's Tuesday night, 7 o'clock at night, Channel 95. You're watching one more show of the Neighborhood News. If you are watching this show and it's not a Tuesday, it's because you're watching a repeat show. So please come back next Tuesday at 7 o'clock at night, and we will have a brand new show for you. I would like to tell everyone that Bernadette, my co-host, is not here today because the time that we're taping this show, she's not available. But she will be in for next week's show, for sure. For our Portuguese listeners that are in touch with us, either from Facebook or YouTube, I want to welcome, sejam bem-vindos para mais programa das suas notícias da sua vizinhança. Hoje é terça-feira, 7 horas da noite. Aqui no canal 95 está a escutar mais programa de notícias da sua vizinhança. Hoje vamos ter conosco aqui membro da comissão escolar aqui da cidade de Fall River, que há muitos anos tem defendido os interesses das nossas crianças, tem sido a voz das nossas crianças aqui na nossa cidade. Portanto, fique connosco, nós vamos ter bom programa para si. Today, the guest that I have on studio with me is an honor for me because he's been having my support for many, many years, and he's really been, since day one, the voice of our kids, and he's been defending our kids for many, many years. He's not afraid to ask questions. He's not afraid to be repeating or asking twice the same question if he's not happy with the answer. He just wants to get the right question. And with us today is Joseph Martins. Everybody knows him by Joe Martins.
Right. Thank you,
Joe,
Carlos.
thank you again. It's an honor for me to have you for the first time in 4 years that we have the show, but to be possible to make it in a good time that you will be able to come to the show.
I thank you very much. I greatly appreciate being here.
Joe, how many years?
Well, this is my 5th term, so I've completed 8 years, and this term is 2 years, so that would be 10.
10 years.
10 years.
In 10 years, do you notice difference? Different
yes,
needs, different?
There is. It's slowly getting to what I wanted to do a long time ago. Mm-hmm. I certainly believe in education. Mm-hmm. I certainly believe in liberal arts education. Mm-hmm. But there's also the need for career education as well. Mm-hmm. In the city of Fall River, if you want to go to college, fantastic. You know, by all means, go to college. If you don't know what you want to do, then take a liberal arts curriculum because that will help you. However, if you know or think you know that what you'd like to be, I want to be a police officer, or I want to be a firefighter, or I want to be an engineer, then select courses that is of your interest that will further that desire to be in a particular career field of your interest. Durfee has right now about 5 vocational programs. Mm-hmm. There's health careers, culinary arts, there is early childhood education, cosmetology, and carpentry. Right? However, there's need for more. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not competing with Diamond. I was at Diamond for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. I'm not competing with Diamond. There's enough to go around. Mm-hmm. But I find that if we do a one-year follow-up study, which I think is about the most important means of determining just how good is your education, the delivery of education. Right? So that 1 year after graduation, we do a study on where are you? Where are those children in there? Have you gone on for a second year of college, or did you drop out? Are you employed or unemployed? Right? And the study clearly shows that those students who take at least one vocational program, career-directed program, graduate at a higher rate than the students who are strictly liberal arts. Right? Additionally, those students that take one career program stay in college equally to those that take strictly liberal arts. Right? A lot of students do drop out after somewhere during the beginning of their first year. I don't know if it's the first term but they do drop out during the first year. Yeah, I think we need to have more career-directed education, so that and in the middle schools, to have people that are professionals, say the police chief, come in, and at the same time maybe a nurse or a doctor also come in, an engineer come in, and you know, the average class in a middle school is probably around 25 kids. Well, if you take 2 classes, that'd be 25 each class. That's what 50 children. You put them in one classroom. Yeah, it's going to be tight for 140. The period is about 45 minutes. Yeah, that's not painful. And that professional comes in and talks to the students. Well, this is my profession. This is what I do for a living. Right? As a startup, you know, a young person coming into that career field, this you can expect to have as far as a starting salary. And then as you get older, like me, all right, now not when I'm saying me, meaning the professional, your salary range goes up and up and up. Well, you just spoke to 50 kids, right? At the end of that period, those kids go on to their merry way, and now you do the same thing for 2 more classes together. Right? Well, you just spoke to 100 kids, and each of our middle schools has somewhere around 700 kids in there. Well, you spoke to 100 kids, so now, and you're the chief of police, now maybe the chief of the fire department comes in. He speaks to 100 kids. Get a doctor. He or she speaks to 100 kids. Right? Well, it takes, you know, if there's 700, it takes just 7 professionals. And you have spoken one time to the entire middle school, that middle school, right?
Do we have those programs?
No.
At the doors of the schools open for programs like that?
No.
Okay. Because here is the problem that I've been having for many years, is and after what just happened on Talbot School a couple of weeks ago, just came just to prove what I'm trying to say for many years. And it's the fact that the students are in, we lock the doors, now nobody gets in, nobody gets out. But when those students, they will behave behind those doors because they have discipline, okay? When they open those doors, they come to our house, to our neighborhoods, and they don't have that continuation of education. Don't put papers on the ground. Don't talk nice to the elderly. You know, all those need to be taught when they are inside of a school, where they're paying attention when we're talking to them. And for many, many years, I've been seeing this. What nice to be to bring these people into the schools to pass the messages. And maybe it's, I can talk to, and I'm going to use my example as a community leader, what wants the best for the community, that volunteers, and always looking for kids to volunteer. They are missing out that good discipline outside the school.
Sure.
And the only way they're going to learn is if we reach out to them inside the schools. And for many, many years, 8 o'clock rings the bell, doors are shut. That's it. That's my kids, and now they're gonna behave inside here. I don't care how they behave when they leave here.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, however, that you do have to lock the doors of the schools. But I guess that's society as we live in there. And that it's not to keep the children in the building, it's to keep those that are bent on creating a problem out of the building, right? So that
but when you shut those doors and you don't allow people like the chief of police or the community leader to go to them and talk to them, okay, that's what I think. That's where we have the problem.
Yeah. Well, but anyone can, if you, like yourself, you make a prior arrangements. You just can't walk in, but a prior arrangement that can be arranged. That's no problem in there. But you know what? I don't want to have an assembly. Because an assembly, well, perhaps the assembly could hold, like the auditorium.
Yes.
That could hold all 700 kids.
But you don't have the one-on-one contact.
That's right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And
so.
That's where the education comes.
That's right. Yes.
Or else it's a show.
Because
the curtain
because
closes
of the fact that,
and nothing happened.
Yeah,
It was
right.
they just watched a good show.
If the student is not interested in what you're saying,
Yes.
then hey, you know, giving the elbow to somebody else, clowning around and whatnot, they're really not paying attention in there. But in small groups,
yes,
they will in there. And you're not telling the students, thou shalt stay in school because it will be good for you. What you're telling the students, in case of the professionals coming in, what you're telling the students is, look, this is what I am doing. In order for me to succeed, I need to have this education. Right? My high school diploma would not get me to where I am today. I need to have an associate's degree, or I need to have a bachelor's degree, or I need to have a master's degree to climb the steps in order in the career field to be able to be successful where I am earning a rather handsome salary. The United States Department of Education has 16 career clusters. Everybody's job is in one of those career clusters. As a community leader, that is within the career field of public relations in there. And you know, that would be understandable, you know, for you to come in and you'd be speaking to, once a month, you'd be speaking to 100 kids. Next month, you say the same thing, but to a different 100 kids, right? But while you're doing that, maybe somebody in horticulture is coming in, and that person is speaking to 100 kids. Now, some students are going to say, I don't want what Mr. Cesar is saying. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that, right? But then the other, hey, I want to be a police officer. I like what the chief of police said.
That's when the other ones come in.
Absolutely so. Absolutely so.
Let me ask you this: you think that, I will say about 6 years ago, we started to close down the neighborhood schools and moving kids to one building. So from 3 different schools, we combine them and we put them into one big building. You think that the education part got lost on moving, making this move?
No, I really do not. I understand about the neighborhood schools, but the Department of Education does not want to build, the Massachusetts Department of Education does not want to build small neighborhood schools because it's too expensive to duplicate the needs of each of these schools. So you go into the larger school, commonly referred to as a mega school,
Yes.
right, in there. But the mega school has all the resources in order to put the technology into the school building. If it's small neighborhood schools, you're going to duplicate that for this one, for this one, for this, for each neighborhood. It becomes extremely expensive in there. Whereas you can have it into the much larger school and have all the technology in there, which is more economical. Granted, you have a lot of kids in a small, in a confined area. No matter how big the footprint is, it's still a confined area in there. But it becomes a matter of student control.
Yeah, I think that the student lost that identity.
Lost the neighborhood identity.
And I went through that transition. My daughters start at Lutheran School. Mr. Aguiar was the principal back then. And we were very in touch with the school, with the programs, with fundraising stuff for the kids, because we were talking about 240 kids, something like that, 230 kids.
Right.
So it was very easy to fundraise something and take kids and bus trips and stuff like that. When that, and I went through that transition, that became the big Lutheran school. So now we lost parents, we lost that freedom, that contacts one-on-one with teachers, with principals, because now it's a principal that used to take care of 200 kids, now he's taking care of 900 kids. And so I don't know, could be just my impression, but I think we lost a little bit of that, You
lost community identity. That you did lose in there. But there is a world beyond your local community. You get to know the kids. The kids, and the school gets to know each child and their parents and the parents' next door neighbor. That sort of thing, because little Carol is there, but Johnny is right next, who lives next door, is there, and you get to know
And
the
we lost
community.
that thing that, my daughter's friend of doing something, I was kind of feel responsible too, because we got along with the parents, and we all help each other, fundraising and everything, and I kind of feel my responsibility to you. Where do you think you're going? No, you're going to stay here. You're going to wait for your mother. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And I think we did lost that. But with that being said,
Like a Vavo,
oh yes. So with that being said, we are stepping in a new direction. Pretty soon we will have a new school superintendent. Which the process already started, right? I heard
Correct.
that the process.
We have a
already started.
time schedule that has been determined. We contracted with the Massachusetts Association of School Committees to do the initial research, to do the advertising, to get people, if they're interested in becoming the superintendent, to apply. Right? So there's a certain time frame for that, and then once those are there, then there'll be a group of people consisting of, and which I'm hoping that was about 8 neighborhood associations in Fall River.
We are 17 now.
17, oh my goodness. Okay, sorry. That there will be maybe 2 or 3 presidents of neighborhood associations present.
Is that board started already? Is that group?
We're in the process of getting people
Okay.
to be there and to contact people to say, hey, look, are you interested in? We want to have representatives of business, right? Now, there's lots of businesses in Fall River. You can't have them all, but my opinion is the Chamber of Commerce. Look, find 2 or 3 people, representative of business, you know, maybe somebody from small business, maybe somebody from medium-sized business and big business to be on there. Parents, a couple of parents, you know, a couple of students. We have 2 young people who are students that are on a school committee. I'd love to have those 2. There's a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
Very intelligent, very articulate to be on, you know, on the search committee. There is a period of time dedicated for these people to speak with the candidates. And then what they're going to be doing is whittling down, let's say there's 15 applicants. They'll whittle that down to maybe 3 or 4. And then they will go, those 3 or 4 will continue on. And then the search committee will do a second round with that
So
smaller
it
group.
is a lot of work, but you have confidence that July 1st we will have a
Oh, I
superintendent?
hope so, because of the fact that we could always go to an interim superintendent,
Yes.
but I would much rather have the person on board prior to the start of next school year. I'd like to have the person on board by July 1st so that you have July and August for the individual to be acclimated to the
Yes.
structure of the schools, be able to visit every school, be able to talk to the principal of every school, because they're there. Well, obviously they have vacation time,
Yes.
but it can be scheduled so that the new person will be able to speak with them, get a flavor of what's going on.
And your new position, you have a very important position, finally, on the school committee.
I'm chair of the finance committee.
Yes.
Yes.
And it will be very interesting to see your work this time around. Budget, it's been already on the table? It's already on the table?
It's on the table right at the present time. What is being asked for, not necessarily what you're going to get, but being asked for is referred to as a level service budget, keeping everybody that we have, not laying anybody off, keeping every program that we have, and that is $7 million above the net school spending or the minimum school spending. Minimum school spending is $133 million. Add 7 to that, you're at $140 million. Right? Well, the minimum school spending is required by law.
Yes.
That $133 million is required by law. You have to come up with that. Excuse me. In addition, there is some unfunded or in the arrears from FY15 that has to get transferred over because we didn't meet net school spending in FY15. We're in 16 right now. There's a question as to whether or not we're going to meet that. And if we don't, then those get transferred over to 17. And that's what we're working on at the present time. You can't keep transferring unfunded of the previous year to the next, because at some point in time, that's going to be an astronomical figure. Right. So we need to get that. The teachers, all of the employees within the city of Fall River, I want to see everyone stay. Right? I want to keep the programs the way they are in there, because the growth is small, but it's still growing in there. However, I'm a realist. You know, there may very well have to be some cutbacks. So my opinion is that we'll cut back where there's areas that can do without. And there are some schools that are way up high on the MCAS list, meaning the testing list, okay? Well, those schools perhaps could do with a little bit less funding. Keeping the same teachers, but they're not going to get all of the extra goodies in there. And there are some schools that are struggling. Those schools need more resources. So it's like robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, yeah.
In there.
What we hear people out there is administration. Do you see a lot of administrators there that the school can survive
That's one
without?
of the areas that I feel that we can cut back in. I have a difference of opinion with the superintendent. The superintendent is a wonderful person, a lovely lady. But I do have a difference of opinion with her with regards to the allocation of resources, especially the grants in there. Yes, it is nice to be able to have wraparound services where you get the community involved in there and have coordinators to get the community involved. That's absolutely so.
You don't have time to go to a zero budget, do you? Start from a zero budget?
Well, you can't, because of the fact that I know the mayor has told all the other departments zero-based.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's starting at zero.
Yeah.
Well, the school department's zero is at $133 million. That's the minimum required by law to be able to run the school department. So that
and again, I mean, they tell us how much we need to spend. They don't tell us how we need to spend it, and that's where we need.
and they don't tell you how to get it either.
Exactly, and I think that the first on the list should be the classrooms.
Absolutely, that's exactly how I feel.
Classrooms should be the
too.
first thing.
Yep.
The second one is to provide, make sure the classrooms are every morning are done to be open. Cleaning and all of that. And then come all the other administrations and assistant of assistant that holds the book for the assistant and all the assistants.
Yep.
And those are where we have problems. Another thing is we've been playing back and forth with insurance. Okay, it's
Building insurance, yes.
with insurance. And then we have transportation that makes no sense for a parent to be sitting on his car waiting for a bus for 10 minutes with the car running, wasting the gas, when with half of that gas, he could drop the kid at school.
Well, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense. But hey, it's been half an hour, Joe. I will come back anytime that you want to come back. I will make an extra trip and be here
love to
with
come
you.
back.
Thank you, Joe, for coming, and it was an honor to have you.
Thank you.
And I see you next week with one more show. Thank you.